What are you drinking?
You ever heard of it? It's called Mauby.
Malby?
Mauby.
Malby. So is it like a coffee?
It's a popular Caribbean drink.
I think you're my third or fourth guests that have gone with a harder beverage to enjoy, and I appreciate Well, cheers, my friend. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm so excited to have this conversation with you. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Cafecito. I'm your host, Christiana. You all know by now, The Cafecito is about everyday people doing extraordinary things. And as I always say, our guests are never different than that. They are extraordinary. And I definitely want to shout out We The Plug. It's a great organization that hyper focuses on Pan-African and Latinx founders, as well as working with individuals in the tech space. And we have done our darndest to create a community that allows individuals to really collaborate and work together and grow their ecosystem as well. Our darndest. Sometimes I like to throw in like old school world words and stuff like that, you know.
It works.
We always use like modern stuff. I'm like, actually, I was watching recently some old footage and they were using all kinds of terms. And I'm like, what does that mean? I'm looking up. I'm like, oh, that means a good thing. Oh, okay.
Only G.
No, right? Oh, goodness. So if you guys want to learn more about We The Plug, definitely check us out at WeThePlug, THA, not THE.com. Now, our guest today is not only a great guest, but is near and dear to me because he is a part of the membership community, but not just as a participant. He actually went through our cohort. So I'm thrilled to be able to talk with you today, Paul. Welcome to the Cafecito.
Hey, so glad to be here. About time I reached the Cafecito.
The Cafecito, yes. And, you know, I really appreciate you being available because I know you're in Barbados. Mm. Yeah, beautiful Barbados.
In the Caribbean.
Yes, the land of our...
The sea and sand.
Sea and sand, yes. Great minds, innovators. So, Paul, tell the audience who you are and what you do.
My name is Paul Husbands. I am a creative at heart. I'm the CEO and founder of Selecta Charts, which is the first music streaming website for Caribbean music from the English-speaking Caribbean. It can be found on selectacharts.com. Later this year, we should have an app for Android and iOS. So, look out for some exciting things with Selecta. And basically, our goal is to promote Caribbean music globally. Of course, Caribbean music is available on, many platforms like YouTube, but we want to bring it to the surface to make it easy to find and discover new songs and artists and find a global fan base for our artists in the Caribbean. So that's our main goal. And so we've relaunched in December. So the new website is gorgeous, it's amazing to use. And we've been improving it since the launch in December. You can sign up for free, enjoy some songs. And if you want to support our company, you can pay to subscribe. Join our ecosystem.
You know what I appreciate most about what you've done, Paul, is that you have literally found a niche. I mean, all of us enjoy music, especially our Caribbean music. But talk a little bit about how you even got to this place of creating a space for Caribbean music, because again, we have so many different platforms, to your point, where Caribbean music lives, but what was so unique about, or what is so unique about what you've done with the company, with your idea that produced the company?
I love that question because this has been a long time coming. So obviously this is 2021, but this actually started in 2011 in school when I was doing my bachelor's degree in graphic design. Yeah, so at that point in time, school was very rigid. You had to learn, yes, a long time ago, it was very rigid. You had to learn specific parts of the design different criterias and different areas, but bachelor's degree, I had more freedom to do what I wanted to do. So I had a minor and a major, and I was like, okay, now I could do what I want to do instead of just doing the class projects. You know what? I'm gonna do something that's related to tech, because at that point, Twitter was pretty new, pretty fresh. Facebook was pretty popular at the time too, but this is 10 years ago, so this is different. Social media wasn't the rage yet.
Yeah.
But it always realized that I love the design elements of this platform. So that was my first realization that I love user interfaces. And then around there, our local cultural organization, NCF, had a meeting with this group from overseas, from Canada. I'm trying to remember their name. Should have checked that before the meeting. But they were people like Justin Bieber and Drake. Pretty great organization in Canada. And their goal is to help like youth get off the streets, give them good things to do instead of being involved in certain activities. The Remix project, yes, Remix project, and hosted by one of the founders is a guy named Gavin Shepherd. Shout out to Gavin because he set the seed for what I did. So at the meeting with the cultural practitioners, it was just me, some other students, and he was the host of it. And he was surprised that also the other guy, Randy Thorne, who's a Bajan videographer in Canada, shout out to him too. They pointed out that the industry in Barbados is confusing to them because in Canada, they play Canadian music like all year round. But in our country, we are seasonal in our approach to music. So so during the summer, we have the big festival, which is Crop Over, which is huge for tourism. Unfortunately, we didn't have it last year because of COVID. But that's the main time we push our brand new songs from our particular genre called soca, which is a dominant party genre from Trinidad. Mm-hmm. And that's where we push our music mostly during the summer. So the radios, the events, everybody pushes the local music. But once that 2-month, 3-month period is over, they switch back to the regular stuff, the R&B, the hip hop, the international artists. And it's always been a push and pull in the industry. So the Canadian guys were saying, what's going on here with the industry? Why is it so seasonal? And it really struck a chord in me because I'm an artist myself. In terms of fine arts, I used to play in the school band, so I do relate to the plight of the artist. And I thought, why don't I make this my project? So it came up as a school project in 2011, and I designed it, presented on it, I think got like a B+ or something. And when I graduated school, people keep asking me about it. And because I put so much research and time into the platform, I said, you know what? Let me save up my coins and actually start this. So I found a local team that could develop it. And it was supposed to be just a few months. It took over a year. And we had to leave out a lot of features because it was so demanding, technically. But we launched in 2017, and my life has not been the same since I launched that platform.
There were so many things that you shared right now. One, I did not realize that you conceptualized this when you were in school in 2001. And that's really important for me. Say it again.
2011, so 10 years ago.
Oh, 2011, sorry. And that stands out to me because one of the things that I have had an increase. Well, I've always worked with youth and young adults. And even when I myself was a young adult, I'm young at heart now, but
still young.
I'm still young. I'm still young. But when I've always worked in that space. And one of the things that I saw an increase happen last year, especially is when COVID hit, and a lot of students, especially older high school students, so about like junior, senior year, started to get frustrated because obviously everything was changing. Their academic career, those that had that pathway into higher ed, there was so much uncertainty. And then those that had just started in their academic career in higher learning, or was right in the middle of it, like maybe a sophomore or junior, somewhere in there, they were struggling with it. And so there was a huge outreach to me personally and others within the community to ask for internship opportunities, all these different things. And as I'm having these exploratory conversations with them, some of the things that came out of those conversations was, well, I have this idea I've been working on, and it's like, but oftentimes they were pushing it aside. And I'm talking specifically youth of color. So mostly Latinx and Pan-African. So to hear you say this started while you were in school and you just started deep diving at it, you got to be on the paper. And this actually became a company, I think is really important for us to highlight, because my constant push is for young adults, youth and young adults, to recognize that they have every possible opportunity in front of them to build in the ideation stage. And definitely with We the Plug, we want to help encourage that and create the space for them to do that. But that just was really impactful to me that started so early for you. That's incredible.
Yeah. There are two things I want to add quickly.
Yeah.
One, the whole reason I started it was because I felt like I could make a difference. There wasn't anyone doing what I was trying to do. So I really believed in the concept, still do, which is really strange to me, 10 years and still I have no doubts about it, because it's not guaranteed to work.
Right.
It's a gamble when you try to start something like this. And then the second thing is, the whole point of it was to have a platform where once Karpova is over, the music is available there for people to listen to, so they could catch up on it, whether from Barbados or in Alaska, anywhere in the world. So the whole point was to just have it there available just for the Barbadian music. It's only after we launched that people that end up evolving to post-Caribbean music, which is a whole other story that we could get to.
You said something right there. It's the long game, right? You said it's been a whole 10 years and you've just been chomping away at it. It's been something that you just believed in. But I think also the beauty of it is that you weren't scared to share it. You talked about it with others, and that helped build the momentum for you to continue pushing forward. I think that's something else that's really important, is for us to openly share when we do have an idea. Obviously, there's some ideas where you do have to protect them right out the gate, and only share with one or two. Say it again.
I was fortunate that, the people that I chose
that
to
no
share.
one took the idea. Yeah. I mean, definitely, I always encourage an NDA to be signed. But I think sometimes even with that, a lot of folks are hesitant to share the idea in fear that it will be stolen from them. But I think it's better to share, because then you get the help that you need to build out the idea that you are wanting to bring to the market. Something else you mentioned that struck me. You said that in Canada, the music is year round, but in the Caribbean, your music is seasonal?
Yeah, so it depends on the countries. So there are certain countries that are really advanced in music. Like Jamaica, they're number one, because they have reggae, they have dancehall, and they release music all year round for those genres, right?
Okay.
Dancehall is really blowing up right now, dancehall in Jamaica. And also in Barbados, there's a Bajan dancehall movement right now. That's really, really big, pushed by artists like LR, Lone Realness, Chief Din. There's so many Bajan artists that are pushing this dancehall movement, which is really, really exciting, because we have not seen something like this before in Barbados. But yes, locally, as I said, how things have been run in the last few years, well, last a long time, is that soca has been the main genre we pushed. That high energy party music. And it's really only during the summer that we release that music and promote it. Outside of that season, there are not much incentives for artists to release soca music, because there are not that many events locally.
Oh.
But that as well. and then the radio doesn't push it as much unless it's pop over. And radio is a huge component of the music industry in the Caribbean as well.
Mhm.
I always saw the digital future coming from the way YouTube was evolving and Twitter was evolving in 2011. Like
Yeah.
it was so convenient and so powerful and so impactful. Even from then, I knew, oh, this is where everything's gonna go, like online streaming. But back then, it's something crazy because people were still selling CDs. So it was
yeah, I mean, I had my LimeWire account, okay?
yeah, oh yeah, LimeWire, Aries. You remember those days? I remember.
Oh my
It was a challenge because in the early days of trying to promote it, because it's only till 2016 we started developing the platform. But even then, CDs were still big. So imagine telling some of our bigger bands, hey, bring your music onto our platform for free. And they're like, for free, streaming online, when it could sell CDs. And just a couple years later, it's completely flipped. Like everybody gets it now. But back then, I sounded crazy telling people have their music available online for streaming.
You were a visionary.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
So when you look at the market right now, or the industry, I should say, first and foremost, the music industry for Caribbean music, you said you can find it on other platforms, but in what way does Selecta Charts, sorry, really stand out in comparison? Because, I think and you all definitely see the link below, click on it and look at it while you're listening to this interview, because it's so engaging and interactive. And so I see right out the gate the benefit of it. You all have done an extraordinary job with the site. It's beautiful and it's seamless. Like when I go through it, like it's so easy, which reminds me, I need to finish setting up my account because I just be on there and listen. And I was like, oh, I got to create an account. But talk to me about like why it was so imperative that you had this marketplace for the music.
Right. So Caribbean music needs its own space. It could easily be swallowed up by the big artists online. Right now, there is a movement with Spotify and some of the other big platforms to highlight Caribbean music, which is excellent. But right now we're just relegated to a popular playlist. But really and truly, the international artists, the Drakes, the Justin Biebers, Mariah Carey's, Ariana Grande's, those are the artists that are going to be dominant on those international platforms. We need something that is just for us, where we can highlight our own. And that was the vision of it, to put our music at the forefront. So the minute you go on the site, you can see what's trending on the website, and also what's really popular is our top 10 chart. That was also another vision of the platform, to bring a chart to Barbados. And then obviously, as it opened up the Caribbean, it made sense to just rebrand it as the Caribbean top 10 chart. But that is one place to easily get your song discovered if you're an artist in the Caribbean. How it's done is based on the most streamed songs each week. So if your song does well, it could actually get in top 10, and then we post it on social media, and everybody always looks up for what are the new hot songs to listen to. So that's another way that you can get highlighted on our platform. But this is just the beginning. As I said, it's only a website, but I do have some exciting plans that I can't go into detail about. But with the app being available on the mobile store, is going to be big for us to access that mobile user base for the first time. And I'm excited to see what happens with that this year.
Yeah, I agree with you on that because, there's some backfeed there. Okay, now it went away. I agree with you on that. And thank you for breaking down the importance of having a exclusive space for Caribbean music. And some of the things that you were talking about, I think is so important, is that when you're early stage in your career, whatever career you're in, oftentimes you're overshadowed by the seasoned or more popular individuals in that collected space. And so to be able to come into a space and still stand out in spite of the newness but be seen for your artistry, I think is why this is such an important space, because there is so many artists out there. I mean, I go on the site again, you all have to check it out. It's very interactive. It's actually, I'm going to show a little clip for you all, so you can get a real interactive experience with it. So as you're going through and looking at it, I think one of the things that I really appreciate is not only is it visually attractive, right? The colors and the alerts that come up and the different artists that you can look at. I think one of the other things that really stuck out to me is that there's isn't there like a live chat feed or like some type of way to interact with the artists on there?
Yeah, we have a comment section for
comment
each song,
section, that's what it is. Yeah.
Which is a step towards where we're going to go in the future.
Yeah. Which I think, again, is so important, because as we are connecting with one another, and we saw this with COVID, there's going to be other times. I mean, this situation is not isolated with how we had to be separated from one another. I think there's going to be other times when something similar is going to happen. And I think when it does happen, we'll be more prepared for it. But we need a way to be able to connect with one another in a virtual way that's not just in this frame that we have right now, but I can actually interact with you with a voice. And we see that with new apps that are blowing up like Clubhouse and things of that nature. So what is next for Selecta Charts? You've hinted at the app that's coming soon. What specifically will that entail? And again, I know you can't be too detailed because of IP infringement, but what do we have to look forward to in these next couple of months and year or so?
Well, even before we get to the app, we're now at the stage where I think we can competently and confidently work with some local brands and do some cross promotions, because that's the next thing I want to focus on. That's the next immediate thing I want to focus on. And then in the short term future, this is some stuff we discussed already, but the tourism aspect is going to be a big part of Selecta Charts going forward. The hotel industry, the plane industry, tourism is huge for the Caribbean. Yes. I could see that's aligning with some of our local tourist products. I guess that's a way to say it for saying it. To get more users on the platform from international markets, because that's the goal, to get more users for our artists, and that's what helps us to stand out as well, because there are people that travel to the Caribbean that love the island, love the culture, but they may not know the music. They may not know the artists. With Selecta Charts, we can capture those tourists. We can introduce those tourists to the artists and give them new fans that they've never had before, even with Spotify and with YouTube. So that's something exciting that we could do with our product, because we focus just on Caribbean music. So that's going to be an advantage there. And then going forward in the long term with the app, as you said, connecting with people is how it's been during COVID. We've been physically disconnected for the most part, but digitally everything's been flying. So I'm definitely going to work towards increasing the connection between users on the platform. And I think what's going to be exciting is the focus on cultures, because I can see with this, people being introduced to how we speak in the Caribbean for the first time. Because the Bajan accent, our dialect, how we just talk, is different from how a Jamaican would speak and how a Trini would speak. And there are apps for Caribbean platforms already. It's going to be fun to see how everyone communicates on one platform, just for music. So I'm looking forward to that aspect as well, when they integrate more of those connected features that I plan to add. So it's going to be an exciting year for the company. Hopefully our biggest yet. Should be our biggest yet.
Yeah, the vision that you have, I think, is incredible, especially as you're looking to bring tap into, like you said, we had talked about this, tapping into the tourism, because it is so huge there, and all those different entities connected with it. So as I'm thinking about the call to action, you had mentioned a couple of things. You had mentioned about increasing membership subscribers to the website right now. So walk us through, before we kind of go into the call of action, kind of walk us through what the app process looks like, or not app, sorry, website looks like when you first click on the link. What is it that you want people to kind of navigate through?
Yeah, for sure. So we made it very simple. We put a lot of information. All the main information is on the homepage. So if you're browsing on your phone or desktop, you just have to scroll. The most important thing is at the very top, subscribe, support our company, put down $5 a month US if you can. I can save some money to do it annually, help us build our company and our financials. And of course, there's some features with that as well. You have a improved user experience if you're becoming a premium subscriber, like unlimited playlists, add unlimited songs, and we're working to add more as the year goes. But of course, you could just be a free user and sign up there, and we encourage that as well. With that, you can have a plethora of features as well. You can like songs, you can comment on artist songs, and they'll receive notifications on your comments so they can reply as well. You have a like history, you have a listen history. You can create playlists. If you're a premium user, you can create unlimited playlists. And there's so much you can do now on the new site that I'm really excited to see where it goes. But as I said, on the homepage, you just scroll and you're going to see what's trending on the site. Press play on the song and start enjoying. And what's great is that with the new interface, you've actually added the genre tags of the song on the front end. So you can see what genre the song is before you play it. So if you know you're into reggae, you can just click the link, because it's going to be a little like oval link. Click that and open a page just for reggae, and you can stream reggae to your heart's content as much as you want. Like your favorite songs, show the artist some support if you really like one. Add it to your playlist, create your own playlist, drop a comment, and just really become part of the ecosystem. And the great thing is that this has been happening. Like every day I open the platform, I check the site, and there are new playlists being made. People from Africa and all kind of places from far out are just like enjoying music. And it just make something like the easy listening playlist. You saw one recently, and just an R&B playlist. So people are just logging on and just enjoying our music and being a part of the system. And it's really encouraging to see that the interface has been so well put forward and improved upon up to know that someone can just make an account and enjoy the platform within a few minutes, just like that now.
Yeah, I agree. It definitely is easy to maneuver through. We've talked a lot about the user experience from the standpoint of a individual wanting to enjoy the artist. Talk about how, if I am an artist, I could be a part of this. And do I have to currently be in the Caribbean to be a part of it? Or can I be living in the US or Canada or another country?
Great question, Chris. So our platform, as I said, is catered to Caribbean music at this time. If you're living in the US or Canada, there are a lot of big artists living overseas. Just use your birth country. Just register. Once you make an account, add your birth country, and as long as you're from the Caribbean, you'll be able to upload your songs on the platform. So
Perfect.
It's a very easy process.
Perfect. Okay. That I think is really important, because I know that there are some artists that are living abroad and, they aren't able to get back home right now, or maybe they're in school or whatever, but they are artists and want to be featured. So it's really great that they have that opportunity, as long as they can connect back to their
location, and they're good.
Yeah. And so what does that process look like? Again, I know you can't go too in depth in it, but as an artist, I sign on and then under that
I'm loving these questions.
platform. Yeah.
These questions. Right. So we designed it to be really, really easy.
Okay.
On this site, once you log in, there are a couple ways you can log in. You can create an account by logging in with Facebook,
Yes.
Google, or you can sign up the old-fashioned way by putting in your information and your date of birth, blah, blah, blah. But most people log in Facebook and Google because that's one click, boom,
Exactly.
few seconds,
So easy.
your account is created and you never have to remember your password again. So then from going forward, if you're an artist, you just make sure you change your name to your artist name. You add your profile picture so that when people search for you, they can find you. And then once you go to your profile, there's the upload button. And even before that, there's a create button. And here's the thing, we came up with that before YouTube. All of a sudden, YouTube, a few months ago, added their little create button. And like, wait a minute. But they launched it before us. We didn't launch it first. But we had that in the back end. We're waiting to spring out. YouTube beat us to it. But anyway, so when you're on the site and you make an account, there's a create button. And you press that and there's an option to upload your music. And it will automatically link to your profile. Press upload music. And once your country is set to a Caribbean country, you can upload it straight to the platform. Just add your credits, change it to publish, press save, boom. Oh, and then also, if you're a new user, there is an approval process. So there is a wait for new music. But once we can see that you're a real person and your music is legitimately from you, we can then verify you and you can upload your music at will before our interaction.
So all of you all who are listening, and if you are artists and you're wanting to be a part of this, you can see right now, it is not a hassle. And the process is one that will get you right to your followers. Is there a compensation? I know that is your compensation package similar to that of like a Spotify or other music streaming platforms like that?
Right. So how we work is we work for a local organization called COSCAP. Internationally there's ASCAP and there are other organizations. Our local one is COSCAP. How that works is we are provided a license to host the music. And with that license, that's where we stipulate that we have the country of origin be from the Caribbean, so that we only have Caribbean artists on the platform. So that's why it's stipulated in that way. Mm-hmm. And then how that works is then we obviously record the streams. Those are sent to COSCAP and the artists are compensated based on our license and their streams. So it's very, very simple. And in the future, we hope to grow that as well as the platform grows.
Again, I think that it started with an idea. It started with you having an assignment that kind of propelled you to put your idea on paper, right?
Yeah.
Because it was writing it down and putting it out there that really propelled you to talk about it and lean into it.
And the research you have to put in school too.
Yeah.
That really helped. That was the most important part, actually.
The research part. But I think that you not being afraid, or even if you were like nervous about moving forward with it, you did it in spite of it. I think is really important.
And the thing is, I can't remember if I was afraid or not at the time, but even me speaking to you now, I was not that kind of person. I was so withdrawn because, as I said, I'm an artist. So I was in the art room, just drawing away, creating ideas. Being a speaker and talking to people, being social was not who I was before. So it also improved me as a person, to be honest.
Wow. Yeah. You know, I tell people all the time, this whole entrepreneurial journey is really about self-awareness journeys.
Yeah.
Our self-awareness journey.
Yeah.
Like, don't you find yourself constantly evaluating yourself throughout this whole process and like adjusting accordingly?
This has improved me as a person in so many ways. And it pushed me away from just thinking about art as creativity and thinking of art as a business. It pushed me to become more of a man. It pushed me to be more responsible. It pushed me to understand law and legal procedures because obviously I don't want to get sued. It has improved me as a person tenfold. I would recommend anyone that has a passion for something, put it on paper, do research, and see how you can start it because it could change your life. It does not necessarily have to be a financial success or breakout hit. Things we are successful at different points. You know, this is almost 4 years I've been doing this, and it's been just a slow, steady pace. But the improvement to me as a person is priceless. Is a priceless journey.
I'm just going to leave it there. I'm going to leave it there because I feel like you even had your call to action there, which is if you have an idea, put it on paper because you don't know where it's going to take you.
Nah, seriously. Because like, there's so many things I've been driving or going somewhere and I literally had to stop and be like, I have to drop this down because I'm not going to forget. And it's too important to forget. And literally I will find that paper in the future and be like, oh, that's exactly what I needed for now. So you need to make a note of anything that's really, really hitting you. Because it could be, you know, it could be God sent, you never know.
I agree with you on that. I definitely feel like everything you're doing is purpose-led. Tell the people where they can find more about you, connect with you directly. Then obviously we'll put the link to the website and all of that. But if someone wants to connect with you, either they're interested in investing or they have resources that they'd like to share with you, or they just want to just connect to just see if there's a partnership or something like that, how would they connect with you?
Of course, you can find me on LinkedIn at Paul Husband. We look similar to this picture right here.
That's right.
SelectaCharts.com. Go on there, make an account. And obviously by email you can contact me at paulhusb@gmail.com.
Excellent.
And you can send an email to the website as well in the contact us section. Yeah.
And anyone, that's right. And anyone that's on the We the Plug membership page, Paul is on there as well. So you can connect with him on there as well. I just want to thank you again. This has been such a privilege to hear your journey. And we didn't even talk about how you built out your team. And so I'm excited because I'm going to have you back so that when you are moving into the next phase of your build out, we can talk more about how you put together the team, because I think that's the other conversation that's really important to have with you as well, is how did you find the team to actually help you put this all together? So I'm excited for this journey as you're unfolding. Thank you so much for coming on the Cafecito today and sharing
Finally made it.
everything you have shared with us, your wisdom. And for those of you all who are tuning in, definitely check out Paul. Go to all the links that are going to be posted below. You can also click on the actual at the end of the Cafecito. I'll actually have a link where you can go directly to the website as well and sign up, because like I said, the music is incredible. And well, first of all, I don't know how people live their life without Caribbean music anyway. So like, I don't know.
How are you doing it?
Yeah, I mean, let alone just music, but how do you live without Caribbean music? Like, come on. Yeah. It's amazing. An amazing artist as well.
Right.
Yeah. And especially if you plan on traveling there, because you want to be like in the know of local artists. Okay.
Oh, for sure. Oh, man.
Come on.
There's so many possibilities now.
Yeah. And we definitely want anyone, I forgot to add this, anyone that's in the hospitality space, whether you work in the hotel industry, Airbnb industry, you work for that organization, you work for the airlines, definitely reach out to Paul as well, because he's looking for strategic partnerships right now. So definitely reach out to him as well. Thank you again, Paul. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Remember, the Cafecito is you, right? It's about everyday people doing extraordinary things. So keep doing those extraordinary things, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much, Chris.